All right, guys, welcome to part two of the UI setup tutorial. My name is King Voodoo. I am the new bro director for both Big Crows and the Little Crows. So we're gonna pick up where we left off in the first video. Uh, so at this point, we've set up our local window. We've got ourselves a nice area, a nice clean area here. We've set up some camera settings. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna actually step outside of the station. So outside of the station here, you notice our windows and we have our HUD. Our HUD here. Here's our chat windows. Alright, so the same deal applies. We're gonna go ahead and pull these two windows down and away. I personally like to put this here. You can find a comfortable spot for it. You selected items window. This is a very handy window. And then I normally will come right below this and put it about the same size as the other window and scroll it all the way down to the bottom. All right, we're going to go ahead and press Control and Shift. Control and Shift, it will stop our ship. If you notice, every time I hit it, it'll tell us ship stop in here. Control and Shift is one of the more important shortcuts that are defaultly assigned by Evoline. So we'll stop our ship so that we don't slide off the undock, which is a pretty big one here. All right, so now that we got this set up, this overview pack, there are many available. They're in message of the day. Sometimes I would check the bulletins. I know Theron has a nice one for the Little Crows. Basically, they're all set up. All you do is click the link, and it'll bring up a bunch of different tabs. This is my personal preference one. I don't need as much information all the time, and I have a couple other ones that are on the back burner if I have some specialty deals. But for you guys, like you guys will have mining tabs and all. I'm not. This is not a tutorial to really cover the whole overview. This is just UI placement today. All right. So part of the UI here that I'm wanting to show you guys is actually these rings that are around me, and this is called the tactical overlay. You can open it by clicking Control D, and it'll open these rings. If you can see. The rings here are distances from my ship at the center of your ship or my ship. And a lot of handy dandy information is on here. If you look at this red dashed ring all the way around, this is our targeting range. And if we press Alt F, it'll bring up our fitting window. And if we look, it's 93.75 kilometers. So we go back to our overlay and we look at 100 kilometers, we're right short of it. We're about 7 kilometers short or 6.5 kilometers short. That is our targeting range. It also shows handy information as such as hovering over your guns. It'll show you the range of your guns and the fall off. Being the solid bright red line is the optimal range of the ammo, and the lesser line is at the 50% fall off rate, and after that the accuracy really falls off. So if we was even to change our ammo type in this particular ship, you go ahead and see we'll have a whole different ring. Instead of that big ring, now we have optimal ranges a lot closer, and it'll give you a way to see your optimal ranges graphically, so you can kind of judge, especially like if you become an FC or just understanding where you want to be shooting a rat or a target from or a person. This is very handy. Even your smart bomb, you'll see the little small ring. That right there will tell you anything inside of that ring, up, down, left, right, and center, is going to take damage from the smart bomb. From there, I told you about the People in Places tab, and here's the reason why we're going to open the People in Places tab. As we're going to open up here, there are folders.
Skill training completed.
There we go. Skill complete. We are going to look at our pings, for instance. I'm just making an example here. So our pings, if we want to persistently have our pings up on screen instead of right clicking and then going to pings and then going here and trying to find this list, we can have a flat list that's constantly on our screen. And you can even interact with those through the radio menu by holding and clicking. And then if you just scroll over it a little bit, You can select a range up to 100 kilometers along the standard default ranges. The default range when you're on the button is what you set as your default.
Warp drive
I'm gonna go ahead and
activated.
stop my ship there. I didn't mean to warp, but you see that, you know, when you're in a combat situation, you know, it's not always easy to right click, come through all of this stuff, align, then come back and do it again in warp. This is persistent, and you could use these tabs a little bit more freely. You know, that's kind of a semi-pro tip I'll give you guys from the beginning. A lot of guys, it took me years to figure that out just by accidentally double clicking on it and then playing with it. It's like, wow. So hope you guys enjoy that and use it. It'll help you out immensely. The next thing is like setting, you can set default ranges. You can right click here, you can set a default orbit range. Here you see the defaults. You can do a keep it range. Click on something you can actually warp to. You can actually set a default warp range by coming here. My suggestion on that is to always keep that at 0. You don't want to warp short of something and land right in the camp and then you can't get out. But going forward, there's a lot of tips and tricks with the UI. If you can see my local window here, I'll spread this out. I'm gonna show you some tips and tricks real quick on grabbing intel really quickly, because it is everyone's responsibility here to report intel. So really quickly, typing someone's name. You know, if you're gonna go ahead and type this guy QWES, you know, there's no link, and to actually link them, then you got to right click them, auto character, and then search his name from a list. Instead of doing all of that jazz, we'll go ahead and we'll just grab his name. Let's say we got him, and then you can hold control. We'll select him, and we'll come up in the window. And all I'm looking for is the tags. I don't really care about the name, really. That really doesn't matter. Everybody that's not blue is probably here to kill you. There's, you know, there's no real friendly alts like this guy's name would suggest in local here. But being that we selected them all, we can actually pull, and you look, we'll have 4 names in that list, and we can drag and drop here. We'll go ahead, and this is the proper format. We'll tell them what system it is, and we don't have a visual on these guys, so we're going to tell them no visual. And then you go ahead and you punch it in. I won't punch it in. They've been reported 100 times in this system here. But just for illustration purposes, you guys can come back and check that out. You know, you can also Control A and select everybody in the local. And what this will do for you is the newcomers into the local won't be selected. That's another handy way of doing things. You can also hit Control C and copy their name into your clipboard. And if you look and you come to the accessories, you go to your notepad. I'm going to show you right here. We can actually paste their names. We'll Control A and delete everybody here, and then look, we could take everybody's name at local. There's some Intel tools that work on this. You punch all these names in really quickly, and a third-party site will give us some details about. It'll pull a lot of background details on these players, but that's just the quick way to get it done. You know, my goal here is to just show you how to do it, and it will lead you in some subsequent videos. You see how this guy right there, just like I said. We'll go ahead and close up this section. Any other questions about the UI, go ahead and leave them in the comments down below. Feel free to get it with a director, myself, Mr. Theron, Mr.